Super Virtuosity with a Franco-Belgian tinge. That was Paganini's Violin Concerto number 4 in D minor. We heard the last movement, Rondo Gallant. That's of a Philips LP, 10-inch LP from the late 50s, I would guess. And Arthur Grumio, such a wonderful artist. I love his effervescence. Well, folks, this is our, I think it might be a solo test program, at least for the time being, and I'm vk3sl, and we are testing on the 160 and on UHF. So, yeah, that's the situation, and we'll just sort of sample things. I've got a few lucky dip boxes around me, so we'll just pull some records out and see what happens. It's a chance for me to sample and see, and it gives people a chance to check their receivers, to test their receivers, and of course I'm testing an array of different processing and happenings and emitters and things here, so there is a comprehensive arrangement. Yeah, we also have a streaming service online at vk3sl at YouTube. So yeah, if you just put the call sign into YouTube, you'll find there is an archive, an extended archive of past programs, about 1,500 or something now. It stacks. Been doing this for a while. And what else? Oh, there's a blogspot too. If you want to go and have a look, it's vk3sl.blogspot.com, and there's sort of information about the station and so on. So that's what happens. And usually Frank, Mr. JR, and I sort of co-host, and we just sort of meander and do stuff with a strong nostalgia theme and indulge in the collection here. There's a lot of 78s in this room, and if I don't play them, there's no point in having them. But I do enjoy listening to them and experiencing the music. It's always an education. So yes, education and testing is the name of the game. All right, we'll kick off with something from the 20s. I always like to do this, and I like to use vintage equipment. So we've got an old CE turntable wound up here, and an 8-inch 78 from about 1930. And this is a record I think I picked up in England and brought back with me on my lap. Had a big pile of 1878s I brought back with me on the plane many, many years ago, back in the 90s. Even it might have been the late 80s. It was a while ago. Anyhow, it's the Harry Hudson's Melody Men and a track called In the Shadows. And it is gradually winding its way into motion. I think we are right to start.
Oh, meet me in the shadows when twilight dims the day, when the golden sun has gone to rest in the golden west. Loving time is best, for love dreams are the sweetest when moonbeams flood the sky. Love will find its own when we are alone in the shadows, just you and I.
Well, that's what happens when you don't try a record first. Yes, that record is very worn. It's stratified. It's been through hard times. In fact, I think this record was also involved in a flood a while ago. Let's have a look. Yes, it's not in great condition, but we got there in the end. An Edison Bell radio disc from the late 1920s. So it's a bit of a theme, testing using vintage equipment and historic recordings. But I'm going to defer now to YT because something of interest popped up today. And it's one of my favourite recordings from that decade. It's a recording of Jelly Roll Morton and his Red Hot Peppers back in 1926. And this was an outstanding group. Mr. Jelly Roll claimed to have invented jazz single-handed. Well, I think that's a bit of hubris there, but he certainly had a very major influence going from the very early ragtime period around the turn of the century. And his zenith was sort of in the 20s when he made these records. Amazing. And then there's a series of Library of Congress interviews with Jelly Roll in the 40s, just before he died, extended interviews, and that's where he makes his exorbitant claims. But at the same time, he reveals a lot about the whole industry in the early days. And apparently these recordings, including the one we're going to hear, were completely arranged by him. He was a bit of a micromanager, but he was able to put his own personal stamp, so every part's written out. And he just got really good studio musicians to play it. And it sounds fresh and it sounds improvised, but apparently it was orchestrated. And he used to keep a pistol on the end of the piano, next to him on the piano, just in case someone deviated. So the legend goes. Let's have a listen to Black Bottom Stomp. masterful orchestration by Jelly Roll Morton and his band in 1926. And great clarinet solo by Mr. Omar Simeon on that record. In fact, it wasn't an improvised solo, but it was played as such, as was Kid Ory's trombone solo on that. Georgie Mitchell's the cornet player. And but there's something very synchronous. It was entirely Jelly Roll's imagination, including the piano solo, which I wonder if he wrote that out, being the composer. Maybe he had it in his head, which begs the question, did he improvise or did he play to the notes he'd already scored? Who can knows? Anyhow, well, I think we should hear the other side. This has popped up recently. I've known this recording for a very long time, but it's nice to hear it in a new incarnation, a nice restoration by Mr. Atticus, Jazz on YT. We'll hear the other side. It's The Chant, which is a Charleston. So jumping on board with the Charleston craze, and this recording was recorded at the Webster Hotel in Chicago in September 1926. I'm vk3sl, testing. Magic moments abound. Jelly Roll Morton and his Red Hot Peppers back in 1926, didn't you?
Sure, we're red hot.
Oh, weren't they ever? Hi there, Frank. Good to have you on board. How was your afternoon?
It went very well, thank you.
Yeah,
very well.
sure.
Just what I
Yes.
hoped that it would be.
Yes, I understand. Yes, it was a very, very personal expression, wasn't it?
Very moving, really.
yeah.
Yes, it was. Very well done.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was wondering actually, so yeah, it's good to have you back.
Yeah, good to be back. Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're just sort of sampling some recordings of Jelly Roll Morton and his Red Hot
yeah,
Peppers.
terrific.
Aren't they great? And
They are.
the story with this group is that he arranged everything. He was a micromanager.
Yeah.
But the fascinating thing is he's very consistent, and his arrangements are very well. I mean, they're in the sort of trad style,
Very much.
but yeah, it's the.
He wrote, he invented jazz, you know that?
Well, that's what he told everyone. Yes, that's it. But he wrote in a very transparent way, which allows all the instruments to shine. So you don't get that sort of problem of everyone trying to usurp each other. So
Sort of clogged up. Yeah,
exactly. Which is congealing, as the problem that a lot of trad jazz seems to sort of fall into that trap. But
It's too much, isn't it?
yes, it just gets sort of too concentrated. But yeah, so there's a lot of transparency in these recordings, and the solos sort of complement each other really well. And but I particularly admired the piano solo, his piano solo in that last record with Mr. John Lindsay was the string bass player, the slap bass player, and it just sounded great, I thought. Yeah, so...
Are there many of these records around?
Yes, there are a few. They were never really sort of circulated in Australia, but there's certainly they're out there. And
They're gold, aren't they?
they are. They're really special. And this, I mean, all the time there are a number of sort of jazz collectors and enthusiasts who I follow, and they're always putting up new things and remastering with new techniques.
Yeah.
And so it's a constant surprise. These two just turned up a couple of hours ago, so I was delighted to hear them with a fresh remaster of those Jelly Roll Morton tracks. Another one that's popped up is a really interesting Fletcher Henderson recording from 1924 featuring a very young Louis Armstrong, but Louis doesn't get any solos on this. It's interesting. The soloist who gets a great break is Buster Bailey, the clarinet player.
Yeah.
And, of course, Buster Bailey was a really important formative figure. He was played with W.C. Handy back in 1917 and taught Benny Goodman.
Wow.
And, he's one of the real pioneers. Played with King Oliver for ages. A great friend of Armstrong's, and they both joined Fletcher Henderson's band together in 1924 and then sort of moved in different directions. But they both had incredible, impact on the early jazz scene.
Yeah.
So this Henderson was quite clever in so far that he'd give one artist a sort of feature on these discs. Often, most of the time, he featured Armstrong because of Louis' particular exuberance and amazing vision and trailblazing sort of solos.
Yeah.
But in this instance, he gives Buster Bailey the Guernsey, and it is really, really good. It sort of puts things into sharp relief, because this just seems like a fairly boring stock, pseudo brass band arrangement, and suddenly you get this jazz solo in the middle of it. And I think no other sort of situation really illustrates the burgeoning role of a soloist and the extended solo as it sort of started to form. So it's pretty significant in the scheme of things. So a track called Me Himaya, I think it says. Fletcher Henderson and his band back in 1924. See what you think.
Right.
go. My Nemia, it is. That's the name of the track. Fletcher Henderson, and featuring Buster Bailey with some great sort of breakout solos on that record.
Terrific.
Weren't they great? Isn't that just sort of so sharply contrasting with everything else?
Oh, well, that's right. It stands out like the proverbial.
Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah, great.
This is vk3sl, I should say.
Yeah, testing.
With vk3sl.
Absolutely, yes. Test missions on 160 and on UHF, and and also streaming online. Yeah, anyhow, we're sort of just riffing through the list of new discoveries, and there's the other side of that Chicago Loopers track with Bix has also been put up in the last day, and this one's a rather unusual recording. It's not the best Bix solo, really. He's very sort of, I don't think he's drunk. I think he's just sort of in that deep introspective zone, a little bit like Miles Davis, how he sort of sometimes retreated into the ether a little, into the noise a little bit.
He did.
Yeah, it just became sort of noodling in around just a few notes. But that's a part of it, and that's the way they sort of, worked through ideas.
Well, it's as though he's sort of trying to discover something.
Yes, that's right. It's just noodling. It's just experimenting. And so the Bix says, look, it's okay. It's fine. It, like a lot of his solos, it sort of just tails off and just evaporates at the end. The Frank Trambauer C melody sax solos to die for, and you just think that, I don't know if Lester Young was probably in short pants when this was made. It's so evocative of the later sort of cool jazz movement, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it mainly features a vocal group, and so with just a little bit of instrumental and solos, a few solos at the end. A track called Clorinda. This is made for the Pathé Actual Perfect label, so sort of like a budget label, and this would have been an aside to what they were usually doing. So yeah, a bit of an unusual track, but it's certainly worth a listen. Back to 1927.
Clorinda, I love you. Clorinda, sweet Since the day you went away, long for you and nightly pray that you'll come back to that old shack.
Upon that hill with sunshine filled that thrills me still
With fondest memories, with fondest memories. You left home but shouldn't roam far away, that you can stray back to your friends sincere and true.
And I've been dreaming, dear, of you and wondering all the time
If I was on your mind, Clorinda, Clorinda, I love you, Clorinda. You're a regular pal,
the sweetest little gal in town.
the sweetest gal, Clorinda, Clorinda. I want you, Clorinda. Please don't turn me down.
I'm sick and tired of running round.
I'm sick and tired of running around. You'll have your way. You know I'll work while you play. You know I'll bring you the bacon every day. Clorinda, Clorinda, you know me, Clorinda. I'm a rolling stone.
But baby, you can keep me home.
Actually, that had a lot more shape than what I remember it. It's actually really quite an impressive record. The thing that stands out to me is the Frank Trumbar C Melody sax solo, though. It was just so spacious. And, you don't hear much, that sort of thing very often. At that time, it was really a trailblazing, really.
Very sort of airy, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely. And I also like the way Don Murray, the clarinetist, syncs with Bix. There's a real synergy there. They really flow. They're in the same headspace with the just with the phrasing. It's great stuff. So, that was a recent upload, again, from Mr. Atticus Jazz. I'll credit him because his site is comprehensive. Thousands of 1920s jazz hits. He's a big-name collector who's sharing all his collection with the Blom. Okay, another one is popped up is Billie Holiday singing a Sunbonnet Blue, one of her tracks with Teddy Wilson.
Oh, love it.
And this is just to die for. It's so beautiful. And it's all there. I think it's about 1934, 35. It's fairly early in Billie's recorded opus. But let's have a listen to a Sunbonnet Blue and a Yellow Straw Hat.
Little he and she were declaring love's old story in the shade of the old apple tree. A sunbonnet blue and a yellow straw hat decided to say I do. So they rode to Judy Glory on a bicycle built for two. Years have passed, the songs are old, the summer days are through. With silver threads among the gold, they still say I love you. A sunbonnet blue and a yellow straw hat are true to this very day, for he loves her in December as he did in May.
Yes, Lady Day and Lester. No, not Lester Young. It's actually Ben Webster playing sax on that record.
Oh, yeah.
With Roy Eldridge and
Lovely
Teddy
stuff.
Wilson. Yeah, it's marvellous, isn't it? Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, she just has this way of just sort of, it's got this whimsical placement, doesn't it?
It is whimsical. It's almost so she's sort of trying to be, not trying to be whimsical, but she sounds a bit whimsical, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't sound deliberate in any
It's so
sense.
relaxed.
Yeah.
It's almost not too relaxed, but it wouldn't want to be any more relaxed.
No, that's right.
I've heard people say she sounds drunk.
Yeah. Well, she probably
she doesn't
was.
sound drunk to me, but I can see where they're coming from.
I know exactly. Yes, she's got that sort of almost, I won't say labile. That's not the right word, but yeah, there's sort of it just sort of floats, or it's just like a leaf falling off a tree. I don't know. It's
Sort of
funny.
lackadaisical, sort of.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, finding ways to sort of encapsulate her remarkable musical matter it's impossible, really.
Yeah.
But
She's just a one-off.
yeah, totally, absolutely. But I still enjoy trying to find
I love
metaphors. It's finding ownership, isn't it? It's like it's connecting. It's finding a wavelength.
Oh.
Yeah, it's marvelous stuff. So yeah, Lady Day, and so that's sort of the new releases, I suppose. New old
Well, that's
releases.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's all good fun. Yeah, and so what I did, I just got a pile of LPs actually off the there's a pile of LPs, of op shop finds and records that have landed on the doorstep, numerous things.
Oh, very
And
good.
I just sort of brought them up and sort of riffing through them. And there's a record here of Yuma Sumac.
Eva Sumac, isn't it?
Sumac, that's right. Yuma Sumac. Now, I've heard you mention her before.
Oh, yes.
And I can't recall much about her. She seems to be a recording made with Les Baxter. She was sort of an exotic singer. I don't know is this...
I just got to go and answer the door.
Oh, yeah, sure, you do that. That's fine. Can I see if there's any information here? There's sort of stories here. Look, I'll play this and I'll sort of do my due diligence. I know we've talked about Yuma Sumac before, and yeah, but look, it's a record that happens to be in the pile and it looks interesting. So, Yuma Sumac with Les Baxter and his orchestra back in the early 60s, I gather. Something like that. Anyhow, let's be ready for a gear change. Helps if I switch things in. We'll start
How's that for an incredible voice?
extraordinary, isn't it? Absolutely. It's all coming back to me now.
Doesn't get any more one-off than that.
It's extraordinary. 5-octave range.
Oh,
Yuma
she
Sumac.
showed it all there.
Yeah, triple coloratura she was known as. And, yeah.
She was supposed to be a Peruvian princess.
I know, I was just reading about this, Frank. It's amazing. It says here, here we go. Let me find it. Myths, here it says, stories published in the 50s claim that she was an Incan princess directly descended from the Atahualpa. The government of Peru in 1946 formally supported her claim to be descended from the Atahualpa, the last Incan emperor. However, her biographer, Nicholas Liminski, claimed that her Incan royal origin was not true. Hollywood took this nice girl who wanted to be a folk singer, dressed her up, and said she was a princess. And she acted like it.
Oh, wow.
I love it. Oh, it's fantastic. But what a voice. What an incredible voice. Perfectly in tune and just, it's so agile. What amazing stuff. Now, that last track we heard was called Tieta Inti. And this album I'm holding here apparently sold heaps. It was really big. And it's called Virgin of the Sun God. And this traditional Incan hymn dates back to 1000 BC, it says here.
Oh, yeah.
It is the musical keystone to Incan worship in the sun of the sun god. With the Spanish conquest and the attempts to convert the natives to Catholicism, this hymn was forbidden. It not only was in conflict with church teachings, but evoked such a deep emotional response in the people that it incited rebellion against the new authorities. Wow!
Oh, well, there you go.
There's a story. I'm sure that was a part of the mythology tales as well.
No, that's right.
But there's nothing like a bit of mythology when it comes to a voice like this.
Oh, it goes perfect for it.
Yeah, I'm happy to enter into the fantasy realm.
Now, I heard this her singing it first in a program called The Magic of Microgroove.
Oh, did you? You probably heard this record.
I very likely did. That was 1951.
Oh, yeah, this will be a bit later, actually.
John Masters.
Yes.
And it was one of the first microgroove records I heard.
Oh, my goodness. How about that? And it would have captured so well with all of that.
Even on 3AW, you know?
Yeah,
we had the floor-standing radiogram.
Yeah.
With the reasonable speaker.
Yes.
And you could easily tell the difference between 78s and microgroove.
I can appreciate that.
You're just getting extended tribbles.
Yeah, but what an incredible formative experience hearing her sing with that amazing range. I mean, you'd never get anything like that on 78. It's incredible. Well, that's great. Well, check out the record's still playing here. Let's just sort of fade in and find out what's next. There's all sorts of interesting and exotic things, and of course, Les Baxter was the king of exotica.
He totally was. He was the man for the job.
He certainly was. So I think there's a good synergy going on here. So we're listening to the music of Yuma Sumac, YMASUMAC, and the Inca Taquai, the chant of the Incans, is the name of the record.
Yeah.
The voice of the Itabe is also the subtitle there. So what are we up to? Track 3. If I go to track 3, what can I tell you? Here we go. Chant of the Chosen Maidens. My God. The highest honour that could befall an Incan girl was to be chosen when she reached her 6th birthday to join the ranks of the maidens whose next 10 years will be devoted to a religious training and veneration of the sun god. At the age of 16, the girls were given to their choice to remain virgins to spend the rest of their life in sacred work or to rejoin the community and become a wife and mother. A role less sacred but no less honoured. Okay, I have an awful feeling they sacrificed people and did things like that as well.
They might have,
yes. But anyhow, we'll have a listen to this track, which we're at that point now. Akla Taquai. My goodness me, Exotica in abundance. It's called Tumpa Earthquake was the name of that song.
Oh.
And one of the most popular numbers in Uma Sumak's repertoire is an exciting vocal interpretation of that terrifying phenomenon, the earthquake.
Yeah.
The earthquake's responsible for squeezing and shoving the Andes high into the sky through eons of time, plagued the ancient Incas and still plague their descendants. Uma Sumak's voice here rumbles deeply as the earth shakes, then soars into flight like a covey of frightened birds. Well, there we go. That's the description. Now, I noticed that this record is, I was just reading her bio, and she was in fact discovered by Les Baxter in the 40s. She was sort of doing provincial things in the 40s, and then he found her and signed her on with Capitol Records in 1950, and this album we're listening to now is the first album.
So this is the one I would have heard.
It would have been the one you've heard. I think this is a repressing from the 60s. It looks like it's a little bit later, maybe late 50s, but I imagine this record would have been in constant circulation. So, yes.
I just remember it being an incredible voice, and
yes.
I can remember all these growls and,
yes.
unusual sounding.
Yes. I just wonder how they rehearse this stuff.
I know.
I mean, I don't know. It's just incredible. It would take a lot of work because you'd have to sort of synchronize all those little episodes and get the balance right with all of the Yeah, all of the vocal effects and
Oh,
things.
there's a lot to it, really.
There is.
Something's happening different all the time.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. I'm fascinated by this, and I mean, it's very much of its time as that sort of exotic, pseudo.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a figure of the imagination. It's a big fantasy world, really, but why not?
Gonna say nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. And I'll indulge. And this next one's called, one we're listening to now is Cloradus, the Dance of the Moon Festival. So we'll give this one a bit of an innings now. Okay, we just got the tail end of that one, and we'll just keep moving through this. This next one's called "Dance of the Winds." And it says, "To people living on the storm-swept peaks of the Andes, the wind is not only a part of their life but of their religion. The young people participating in Incan ritual climb up high the treacherous mountains and expose themselves to the chilling blasts, dancing in wild exuberance, exulting in their youth and love, and purifying themselves with the sharp, clean wind that wraps itself around them while they worship their ancient gods."
Yes, they survived, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get much better than that. It was the Dance of the Winds. Dance of the Winds is what we just heard, and the next track is called Monkeys. And it's all about it says the lyric loveliness and the beasts that roar and growl and chatterboxes goes on. Yes, it sounds very, a bit of more jungle flavours from Sumac.
A ti solita te quiero, a ti solita te adoro, a ti solita te entrego la llave de mi tesoro. A ti solita te quiero, a ti solita te adoro, a ti solita te entrego la llave de mi tesoro. Porque soy buena moza, sí, ñaña. Porque soy buena moza, sí, ñaña. Porque soy buena moza, sí, ñaña.
¿Qué pasó en la calle? Que veo correr, todo el mundo corre, caramba, caramba y yo corro también.
Ay, lo encontraron.
Todo el mundo corre caramba y yo corro también.
Don Tiripillo, carambas, mató a su mujer. La cortó en pedazos, caramba, y la mandó a vender. La cortó en pedazos, caramba, y la mandó a vender. A ti solita te quiero, a ti solita te adoro, a ti solita te entrego las llaves de mi tesoro. A ti solita te quiero, a ti solita te adoro, a ti solita te entrego las llaves de mi tesoro. Porque soy buena moza,
Sí, ñaña.
porque soy buena moza,
Sí, ñaña.
porque soy buena moza.
Sí, ñaña.
Well, I have to say I marvel at the percussion section. And
Yeah.
there's so much in that arrangement. Les Baxter just had such an incredible imagination for breadth and colour and movement in his arrangements. She seamlessly moves from one register to the other, doesn't she? It's just as if it sounds effortless, her singing. Incredible, really.
Never heard anyone like her. Really.
No, I think she's a one-off. There's one more track on this album, and I just freeze-framed it for a moment because I want to read the preamble here. This will be good. And I've found out now, I've worked out what's going on here. This album is actually a combination of two albums. It was released in the 60s, but all side A, which we've been listening to, is the voice of the Exabe, which is the original album from 1951.
Yes.
It's probably a 10-inch record. So, yeah, we are hearing the original tracks from that album, and then on side B is a second album which we can play another time, which is Chances of the Incans. The last Etabe, Lure of the Unknown Love is the name of this one. This has got to be heard, so we believe. Etabe, a lovely young Incan virgin, fell in love with a high prince on the Aztec kingdom.
Sounds like trouble.
It does. It was a forbidden love, however, for he was high-born and she was but a simple peasant. The young girl, unable to keep the secret in her heart, sang to the mountains, the winds, whoever would listen to her song. Her voice was so penetrating and enriching that ultimately it reached and killed the far-off prince. How's that? Wow, what a story. Let's have our listen.
Oro
And so it was the voice of Extabay, conducted by Les Baxter, and the music of Uma Sumac. We're listening to an album of the same name, her debut album in 1950. We heard the whole thing.
Wow.
So what an experience that was, hey?
Incredible.
Yeah, we'll save side B up for future missions. I think we'll have to... we'll have to hear the rest of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she sort of kept going, it seems, and did various projects and kept in the forefront of Peruvian music.
I think she had a long life, as I recall.
Yeah, she did. I think she lived into nearly 90.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think she only passed away in the mid-2000s. So,
Yes.
So that's pretty amazing. Yes, so Uma Sumac, it was great to find that record.
Certainly was.
So I've got a pile of, these are all recent op shop finds, which I haven't really explored yet. I've just got
That's excellent.
So I can read out some others. One is Japan Kabuki, another traditional music ensemble, Nipponia. Actually, I played some of this afternoon. I was doing some tests earlier on just to align a few things.
Yeah.
And this is really quite extraordinary. It's really provincial Japanese music.
Oh, great.
It's quite powerful. So I might ride out with it, actually, because it's
Sure.
very atmospheric. We can do that shortly. But what else is in this pile? We've got Odetta at Town Hall.
She's great.
Yeah, okay, we can play
Big
some.
voice.
Okay, well, we've got so many tracks here. The Fox, I think that was a song that Eartha Kitt made famous, I think.
You're right.
Yeah, anyhow, we can. I'll give you. You can choose, because we've got Let Me Ride the Fox, Santi Anno, Devilish Mary, Another Man Done Gone, Children's Trilogy, He Had a Long Chain On, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, and Take This Hammer. That's side one. So, I don't know, any of those jump out at you?
Yeah, well, the Fox, I'm pretty sure it's a folk song.
Yes, it is.
Burl Ives made it famous.
That's right, he did too. Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing him sing it, because I think we played the Eartha Kitt and then we heard him as well.
Yeah, it's a little story.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. All right, well, that's track 2, so we can just do a little cue on the fly.
But she's got a big voice.
Yeah, Odetta. So,
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, good. Excellent. All right, well, I think I'm in the groove. It's a bit of a guessing game here. All right, we'll hear this. It's a... What else can I tell you about this record? It's a Gold Star Series Vanguard disc. Odetta at Town Hall. I don't know which town hall. Doesn't actually give us that information, but we'll find out what this is all about. The Fox.
For the moon to give him light, for he'd many a mile to go that night, before he reached the town, many a mile to go that night, before he reached the town. Well, he ran till he came to a great big bend. The ducks and the geese were there put in. He said, a couple of you are gonna grease my chin before I leave this town. A couple of you are gonna grease my chin before I leave this town. Well, he grabbed a gray goose by the neck and he slung a duck across his back. He didn't mind it, legs all dangling down. He didn't mind it, legs all dangling down. Well, an older mother flipper-flopper jumped out of bed. She ran to the window and she put out her head. She cried, John, John, the gray goose is gone. The fox is on the town, John, John, the gray goose is gone. The fox is on the town. Well, the John, he ran to the top of the hill. He blowed his horn both loud and shrill. The fox, he said, I better flee with the pill. They'll soon be on my trail. The fox, he said, I better flee with the pill. They'll soon be on my trail. Well, he ran till he came to his cozy den. There were his little ones, 8, 9, 10. They said, Daddy, better go back again, 'cause it must be a mighty fine town. They said, Daddy, better go back again, 'cause it must be a mighty fine town. The fox and his wife, without any strife, cut up the goose with a fork and knife. They never had such a supper in the life, and the little ones chewed on the bones, They never had such a supper in the life, and the little ones chewed on the bones,
Okay, Odetta at the town hall. Still haven't worked out which town hall, but just Odetta and her guitar. Well, great raw energy. She's a fabulous singer. It says here she had a very strong influence of the likes of Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, and Janis Joplin.
Yeah, she was early in that push, but she was very much part of it.
Yeah, and a great champion for civil rights, and had a really sort of a strong sort of folk-oriented. A strong social conscience.
They all recorded on Vanguard pretty well, all those people. Most of them, anyway.
Sure, interesting.
It was a big folk label of the 60s.
Yes. And it says here that she was recording right up until 2008.
Oh.
Yeah, the year she died. So that's interesting too. She was born in 1930. So I don't know what else is on this. I can see what the next track sounds like. We'll play one more.
Yeah.
This is just writing now. So what is it? It's Santi Anno, I think.
Oh, this will be good. This is Spanish.
Well, back in the days of 49, heave away Santa Ana. Back in the days of the good old time, way out in California.
That was just the last part of Santa Ana. The next one's called Devilish Mary, a favourite banjo piece, it says here, from the southern mountains, usually found with humorous verses. They are sometimes sufficiently organised to warrant the songs being called a ballad. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that one.
3 seconds of it. It's one of those extravaganzas by Cinerama. It's called Cinerama Holiday. Never did see it. Not because we had a very small part, but because I couldn't stand the idea of seeing myself sprawled from over there to over there.
I once dressed up and went to town, caught a fair young lady, but I inquired about her name. Her name was Devilish Mary. Come following, come, following, come there, following, come, following, come there. When me and Mary began to spark, she got in a hurry, made it all up in her mind she'd marry me next Thursday. Come following, come, following, come there, following, come, following, come there. Hadn't been married but about 2 weeks before we all had been parted. Hadn't said one single word, she kicked up her heels and started. Come following, come, following, come there, following, come, following, come there. One day I said to Mary, I think we ought to be parted. But just as soon as I said the word, she packed all the clothes and started. Come following, come, following, come there, following, come, following, come there. She washed my clothes in old soap suds and filled my bath with switches. She let me know right from the start she was going to wear my britches. Following, come, following, come there, following, come, following, come there. Now if I ever marry again, it'll be for love, not riches. Married a little girl about 2 feet high and she can't wear my britches. Following, come there, following, come, following, come there.
Odetta, a track called Devilish Mary. Now, the next one's really interesting because it says, another man done gone. And it says here, a highly convincing theory puts at least one of the origins of the blues in the mournful, sometimes triumphant sound of the southern field holler. In this song, it's not, although not a blues, but is a forerunner, perhaps, that transmuted reflections of the field cry, or holler plain to the ear.
From the county farm, the man done gone. I didn't know his name. I didn't know his name. I didn't know his name. Didn't know his name. Didn't know his name. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. Had a long chain on. Had a long chain on. They killed another man. They killed another man. They killed another man. Killed another man. Killed another man. Another man can gone. Another man can gone. Another man can gone from the county farm. Another man can gone.
You can certainly hear the influence on the blues with that, the sort of the, I don't know, the intensity behind the words and the sort of the feel of it. I think probably would be a derivative genre, perhaps. So anyhow, that was an example of Odetta. The name of the album is Odetta at the Town Hall, accompanying herself on the guitar. And we just had a sample of that disc. And what we might do is fade that one and see what else we've got in the pile. This is a pile of newfound records, in all records discovered in the last month or two, since the beginning of the year. And we can see what else there is. We've got Roma music, gypsy music. We've got flamenco virtuosos, Payador Patron de Canto, which I think is guitar music, I think. We can play that. Folk Songs of India. This could be interesting. It's an unusual label too. Oh, it's a special issue for the World Record Club. Okay, with a big Air India expose on that too. Tijuana, that's a bit more mainstream. Chico Rodriguez and his Tijuana Sound. And here we go, a Planet Record, Hillbilly Classics, featuring Kenny Arnott. Hillbilly recordings. Here's a recording of Chardas and Bouzouki, music of Greece. Sirtaki, how can I say this? Sirtaki, Let's Dance. I think it's more Greek music. Yeah, World Record Club seem to have had a continental music arm to them.
Yes.
Yeah, more Greek music. So look, there's all sorts of things here. But look, I think we might save it up.
Yeah.
And we can finish with side 2 of this Japanese disc, which is truly remarkable. It sounds like it's just like almost ethno-musicological material. It sounds like it comes from sort of a deep level of research and understanding of traditional forms. So it's quite a different sort of class to the music we've just been listening to. I won't say class, a different experience.
Yeah.
So we can probably ride with this one and for the next half an hour or so, and then it'll be a while before we're back.
Yes, a little break.
Yeah, a break, and next week it's almost certain now that we'll be doing our walk up in the mountains.
Oh, excellent.
So that should be good. That's over Easter. Then the middle weekend, I think we're at Inverloch. We'll be around a bit during the week, but I don't think there'll be any missions.
No.
And then the final week of the holidays, I think Kate and I are going somewhere. I'm not sure yet. We have to work that one out. So
Right.
then the week after that, I've got music camp.
Oh, yes, you say.
But I should be around for maybe a short missions on the Friday because I don't go to camp on the Saturday. So we'll sort of keep something happening.
Yeah, well, I'm around anyway.
Yeah,
So.
I'll let you know, Frank. I'll give you a when I'm clear about what's going on. I'll definitely get in touch and we'll see what we can do. And then
Absolutely.
yeah, and throughout May and June it'll probably be business as usual. I'll
Sure,
always enjoy a play. So yeah, that's the story. Well, I wish you well. Have a fab time hearing the St John Passion.
Looking forward very much. Yes, and you have a great break.
Thank you.
Great walking,
Yes.
and you'll be able to hear some music, no doubt.
Oh yes, there'll be lots of music here, there, and everywhere. There's always something going on. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, no, we'll certainly do that. And Bee's singing in Hamer Hall, which is exciting. So
What doing?
yeah, she's been chosen to do a solo with there's a regional area concert, and yeah, she's singing a jazz solo with a group.
Wow,
in Hamer
that group
Hall.
I know, I've heard it. That's the one you recorded, I think.
Yes, oh yes. So
She recorded a duet with
yes,
a guy.
yes, she did. I think this is something different. It's with a band.
All right.
And yes, she's got this amazing opportunity
Hey,
in
that's terrific.
front of about 2,500 people. So
Wow.
that'll be a big event for her.
When's that on?
That's in May sometime, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty exciting for Beatrice. So.
Oh, yeah, you'll no doubt go and hear
Oh
it.
yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. So yeah, that's lovely to hear.
That's
the kids.
wonderful.
Yeah, well, they're into it, so that's all that matters really. And yeah, Henry's doing all the AYO tours. He's doing, I think, the tour for over Easter, and he's going to Perth, I think, over Easter, and then and he's going to Malaysia later in the year. So there's lots of the Australian Youth Orchestra are really busy with tours, and so that's his.
Yes,
domain.
I had lunch with Peter, the dad of Holly,
Oh,
yesterday.
really? Okay.
And she's all well and truly immersed in all that stuff.
Fantastic.
They are having the time of their life.
Oh, isn't that marvellous? Well, I'll mention her to Henry, and you never know, they'll probably meet up.
Let's hope so. They're in different orchestras, of course, aren't they?
They might be in different groups, because I think Holly was in the chamber orchestra, if I'm
Yes,
not
she was.
mistaken. Yeah.
She is, yeah.
Yes. It's yeah. All right. Well, I went to an amazing concert last night and saw the Young Voices of
Oh,
Melbourne.
yes, were they as good as you expected?
Oh, it was just incredible. It was a really special night, and I've got some recordings to share for future missions.
Fantastic. Could we hear some later when you get back to
when we get back, I'll sort of edit them up and see what we can play. But I'm sure that'll be fine.
Great
so,
stuff.
Yes, it's all binaural recordings because I like to listen to them on.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I like listening to them while I'm walking to work.
Oh, I bet you do.
So it's all good fun. All right then. Well, look. Well, thanks so much, Frank.
Thank you, as always.
And the best
Have a
to you.
great Easter to you and family.
And to you and yours too, Frank.
Indeed.
And to listeners, thank you for being a part of the this
Yes,
journey.
enjoy the break, listeners. Listener.
That's it.
And especially Jamie. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Oh, no, Tuesday.
Okay. Sure. We'll send my very best wishes, and we'll be back. Look, I think with confidence we'll be back on board in May, and there may be emissions or two before then. But just watch the space, and yeah, certainly not for the next 3 weeks anyhow. But yeah, all right. Well, we'll finish up with this really interesting record. I sampled it this afternoon, and it's traditional Japanese music. It's called Kabuki and Other Traditional Music. It's on an LP on the Explorer series, and yeah, I think it's remarkable and it's involving.
This is VK3JR going to listening.
Okay, thanks so much, Frank. All the best. And to listeners, I'm vk3sl. We've been testing on 160 and on UHF, and also streaming online. And we look forward very much to your company down the stream.
日踊り越えて風の暁寒きすま沖に漂う軍船は戦にたけし義経の知略の弓矢に敗れたる哀れ平家のご座船なりここに熊谷次郎なお実は名わる武将歌ばやとうかごうちに渚の肩を気合い目指す武者一揆怖いよき敵それに落ちさせたのは平家方の御大将と見受けたり変えさせたまえ戻させたまえおいおいと日の扇をあげて招きけり れて集まり戦火となく敵に後ろを見せまじと白波け立てて右輪に向けてぞ返しける
Okay, folks, that's all for today. Music of Japan. And we'll look forward to your company in about 3 weeks' time, thereabouts. We'll just have to stand by. It possibly won't be until May that we have full-fledged missions again, but that's just the way of things. So thank you so much for your indulgence and your listening in to our meanderings on 160 and on UHF. Also, there is a streaming service online, which I should bring to your attention if you're interested in having a listen to past programs. I'm vk3sl. Thank you and best wishes.